Well, it's time for Media Watch now. And James Creedon is with us in the studio. Good to see you, James.
Likewise, Laura.
Talking about our top story of the day, the Brexit negotiations seem to be going nowhere in Brussels. No big breakthrough expected tonight.
Right.
And, of course, Ireland at the heart of all of this.
Yes.
Both sides trying to come up with a way to put in a border that isn't really a border, an invisible border that is still a border. It's a difficult one to get your head around, isn't it?
Following the details of it is kind of it's headache stuff, and I'm going to just kind of stick with maybe the bigger picture a little bit. But we have
because they agree that they don't want a border. That's right. The thing.
They're agreed. Well, some of them think
they don't want a hard border.
Yes.
But nobody's managed to work out what a soft border looks like.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Tell us, what have you got?
In any case, I'll just start with cartoons. This is Politico.eu. Theresa May's kamikaze Brexit. So look, they're all having a lot of fun with how much difficulty she's having in terms of the cartoonists, at least. You can see here Theresa May.
Not just the cartoonist.
Right, indeed. Theresa May in the cockpit with Boris Johnson and others. Essentially indicating here that the hardline Brexiters are doing everything to avoid a soft landing in this regard, and the real deadline will be later, not now. That's what they're indicating in this. Steve Bell of The Guardian. My cabinet stands together.
On top of Boris?
On top of her, I think.
I thought that was... I can't see that very well.
Well, her shoes.
The blonde, I think
shoes.
the blonde hair.
Yeah, but
yes, sorry.
Unless Boris is taken to wearing
leopard
skin shoes.
We can't see it. Okay.
In any case, so standing together, and she's sort of being trodden upon. Poor Theresa May. And so here you have a clock. The clock being this is another cartoon that's been doing the rounds of social media, and you can see there. Wait, I have a cunning plan. Last minute plan, but caught in a pincer between the hour and the minute hand there. Matt of The Telegraph. The end isn't nigh. I suppose the end is nigh is sort of an Armageddon type expression, isn't it? And I suppose the end of the Brexit. I don't know what they're going for here, but it sounds like the end isn't nigh. In other words, don't worry.
The transition offer, maybe.
Yes. In any case, it seems to be producing panic in that particular image. So the cartoonists are definitely doomsday merchants in this regard. This is kind of funny, right? The Irish border has been given a Twitter account called @BorderIrish.
But it doesn't exist.
And it doesn't exist, but it's trying to remind people that it's the elephant in the room. I think that's the idea.
Yes.
That's a pinned tweet. And then it waxes lyrical occasionally, the Irish border. Soft but not soft. Cross me, but don't double cross me. Invisible, but don't pretend you can't see me.
Sounds so nice.
I like that.
Accent, James. It wouldn't sound the same if I said it.
I'm trying to be authentic here. Now, this is another kind of funny moment. You have Brexit shambles. That's another kind of a Twitter account that's getting a big following from people who think it is a shambles, and it's got tens of thousands of followers and whatever. They have shared a tweet by Kate Hoey, who is
Brexiteer.
That's it. But Labour Brexiteer, interestingly enough, from Vauxhall, and she put forward this idea, which might appeal to some but doesn't appeal to most. If a backstop is such a good idea to sort the border issue, why do we not go for a backstop around the entire British Isles? Then the Irish Republic can be part of it too. Except, most people in Ireland really don't support that idea at all. And you had some people here saying, Kate Hoey reviving the Oliver Cromwell solution to the Irish problem. And he's probably the least popular man in the Irish history books. But anyway, there you go.
Great idea.
It's like, let's just
Back
force
to the
them to
drawing
do
board.
it. Anyway, Le Monde looking at the situation as well, and they've sent people to, I suppose, people very interested in border areas at the moment and going to places like Belleek, which is half in Northern Ireland, half in the Republic of Ireland on the border between Donegal and Fermanagh, and they're talking about how a border would bring back some degree of instability.
And our very own Hervé Amarika's there. We'll be speaking to him later. He's on the border as well.
Everybody's drawing attention to this.
A lot of people are really worried, aren't they? Because this will have a very real impact on their lives and their businesses.
That's right.
Tell us a bit about what the Irish press is saying about all
Well,
of this.
front page of the Irish Times today, they're really trying to draw attention to that. I've never seen them do this kind of yellow neon. Now, maybe they do. Maybe I just haven't seen enough front pages of the Irish Times in recent times. But in any case, they seem to be really trying to draw attention to this particular issue, what a hard border has meant in Ireland. So it's a little bit of a jogging one's memory. If Brexit brings the violence back, they will be younger and they will have no fear because they won't remember. And they spoke to the mother of a victim of somebody who was shot at a customs border along the border back in the dark days of the Troubles. And her concern is, look, young people, they don't remember how awful that conflict was, and they would be more fearless and perhaps more stupid in terms of
more reckless,
reckless people looking for a battle, and I suppose giving them an excuse in that regard. And of course, divisions remain in the UK about this. Just to look at two press pieces today. The Evening Standard a lot of people being rallied for this People's Vote March this weekend. Projections of 100,000 people marching on Parliament looking for a referendum on the final.
Well, a lot of people say it's just another name for a second vote. But
right. But in any case, there are people rallying on that. Front page of the Daily Express saying, respect the 17.4 million who voted Brexit. So you can see, like,
they love that number, don't they?
They do. But
Every other day,
you can see the extent. I mean, look at this. You know, the division is still very much there in that regard. In the meantime, preparations for a no deal.
Yes.
You can see here in France.
Making a lot of people nervous in our newsroom.
That's right. And I've seen posts going up on Facebook, people saying, I think a mutual friend of ours, somebody saying, being asked by HR people in another company, do you have a backup passport? Do you have a backup nationality? In other words, just a British passport is not going
Everybody's
to be...
scrambling for that Irish relative.
Well, yes, or trying to rush through a French passport application. It's true, the Irish Embassy here is definitely very busy these days.
Yes, I can imagine.
Meanwhile, this sort of stuff, there's no plan B. Academics race to safeguard research against Brexit. In other words, all of the potential consequences, which are so many-fold, and it would require a lot of readjusting, I suppose, in that regard.
Which
this is funding in universities. That's right, they have known about it for a while.
They've had such a long time to work this out, and it doesn't seem like they've worked out anything.
I'll finish with a slightly humorous note. I'm sure they'll come up with a better design for the post-Brexit British stamps. That they probably won't go with this design, but it is funny. It's funny. From the point of view of anti-Brexit people, this is how the new stamps could appear. Arrow in face, shot in foot, head in hand.
And it'll probably cost more if you want to send a postcard to Europe, if you can indeed get away on holiday. I don't know. All right.
Anyway, James. Brave new world awaits us.
Yes, absolutely, James. Thank you very much indeed. James Creedon there.